Hello, good afternoon. This is Rob Koster for CardGameExpert.com, and today I'm going to be playing some Kiki-Combo. I like Kiki-Combo a lot. It's one of my favorite archetype. It's the one deck I have a top 8 with in a modern challenge. I played it in the Grixis colors back then, but I wanted to play Temur because of Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. This deck has a ton of problems with Junt and Burn, and Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath just solves both those problems. It's just... yeah, it draws cards, it gains you life. This is just such a good card in those matchups, so I wanted to try that. I think if you want to play this deck, these are the colors you should be. Icefang Codal is an amazing addition to Remand the Mana League. One Pulse of Murasa in there just for some more life gain and some more grind. With that being said, things I'm worried about, the mana base could be a stretch. I just built this list on the fly. I just wanted to try the Uro. And I've played this deck before with Astrolabe, but now it doesn't have any Astrolabe anymore, so... yeah, and the sideboard, this is pretty obvious. Like, it's a modern sideboard. We have Ashiok, Anger of the Gods, Dispute, Abrade, Weatherstorm. Like, this is all just standard modern stuff. Oh, come on. With that being said, I'm guessing this deck will be very fun. This is definitely a great deck for great games. So if you want to generate good games, this is what you want to do. Oh, for those of you who don't know, the combo is Kiki-Combo card here with Deceiver Exarch. You just copy the Deceiver Exarch, untap the Kiki-Combo, and make infinite tokens and attack for lethal. With that being said, this video is sponsored by MANATRADERS, and if you like the content, definitely check them out. Well, if you don't like the content, still check them out, but why would you be watching if you don't like the content? So anyway, check them out. You can use coupon code Nuclear to get a discount on your first purchase there, your first rental plan there. With that being said, let's get to the matches. Yeah, we are starting out with a proper opening hand. To Icefang Codal, Snapcaster Mage, Scrat, Opt, Snow-Covered Island. We get Thought Seized immediately. And so we just draw Remand, which is the best Remand you can ever have. Like, they toss you and you then draw the Remand, they don't know about it. And so we end up remanding the Liliana after playing an Icefang Codal. We draw the Deceiver Exarch, they plus the Lily to make us discard a card. Well, they're not playing any creatures, so discarding the Scrat. They Raven's Cryma, so we know we're against 8-Rack at this point. 8-Rack should be a good matchup. We have a ton of cards drawn in this deck, so we just can't trip a bunch. Attack the Liliana. Just get rid of it. They play the rack. So when we have 3 or less cards in hand, we take a bunch of damage. Then they play a Smallpox. We mana leak that one. And they force us to discard a card again. We have 3 lands, so we discard the Cryptic Command. The rack trigger goes off and we take no damage. Attack Liliana. Liliana goes down. They have 0 cards in hand. We have an Uro on the top of our deck. So this is just desperation. Like, that drawing cards of the Silent Clearing, Nurturing Peatlands getting drawn, Shrieking Affliction. So if we have 1 or less cards, we take 3 damage. The rack triggers again, we take 0. Shrieking Affliction doesn't even bother to trigger. We take 2 damage from the Mutavault, well, that's fine. The rack triggers again. We play an Uro, and it's like, yeah, sure. And they concede. Like, they just didn't, they didn't do anything that much that bothered us. We bought out a bunch of spot removal, and we move on to the second game. This hand's a no-go. This hand's pretty good. Would love to draw a green mana. For the rest, a very reasonable hand. They Inquisition us. So, bye-bye Uro. They Surgical Extraction our Uro, which is pretty bad. We wanted that one for sure. Just drawing cards, gaining life is exactly what you want to be doing against 8-Rack. So, like, Uro is a card that just beats deck like 8-Rack. Just flat out. Like, if you play an Uro and you attack with it, 8-Rack has just lost. So we abrade their rack. They Inquisition us again. They know we have a Deceiver Exarch. I tap their land here to keep them off of colored spells. They play at the rack. The rack comes into play. It triggers. We actually took a damage this time. We took 1. No, we took 2 of it. They Fatal Push after using their own Silent Clearing. Then they attack with a Mutavault. We Deceiver Exarch hit just to tap it. And they're just not doing much. So at this point, it's basically a race. They draw another rack. That's the 3rd one in the top 12 cards. That's kind of insane. And then they play a Rancor, Master of Pranks, which I use as an opportunity to use Veil of Summer so I can cantrip some more. But I keep drawing lands. And they make us discard a card. And that's that. They should have made us sacrifice a creature, because I would have died to the rack triggers anyway, I think. Yeah, so game 3, we get Thoughtseize again. They take our Ice Fang Codal, they Raven Scry us on turn 2. And they play the rack. In response to Thought Scour, just draw some cards. I obviously draw the Mana Leak now, just perfect. Turn 3, play Snapcaster, Thought Scour again. I'm basically trying to put an Uro in the graveyard. They play a Rankle on their 4th turn, I Mana Leak it. They play a second Rankle, I remand that one. I then Mana Leak a Smallpox. And then I upgrade the rack, so now the Smallpox resolves. They play another rack. They've drawn a ton of those this match. Yeah, so they play a Thoughtseize. They're at 6. They play a Thoughtseizes, and I've drawn a Lightning Bolt. So yeah, this is lethal, because Thoughtseizes deals 2 to them, Lightning Bolt deals 3 to them, Deceiver X attacks for 1. So yeah, them playing the Thoughtseizes, because I drew the Lightning Bolt, just kills them. So onward to match number 2. For match number 2, we have Ice Fang Codal, Exarch, Cryptic Command, Kiki-Combo, 3 lands, so we have 2, 3, 4, 5, but they're playing Neoform, so nobody cares. They play a Bant Control, they play an Azorius Rider, they play a Neoform, and they didn't have the only Griselbrand in their hand, and they draw 7 again. Like, they did a bunch of stuff. I just cut it all out. Nobody cares anymore. Like, get rid of this deck already, please. Why is this legal? Like, that was a turn 2 kill. So for the second game, we have a Mana Leak, little Mana Leak that good. We end up playing an Ice Fang Codal on turn 2. And they Veil of Summer, which means they just have more interaction. We then play a Snapcaster at the end of turn 3. And yeah, go team, go. Go, 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 go. They play a Summoner's Pact. Yeah, I sit here in desperation. Basically, like, I can Mana Leak this. They play an Azorius Rider. I try to counter the Eldritch Evolution that comes out of it, and they Pact of Negation it, so I had a counter spell and still died. But this is turn 4, like, I can kind of live with this. Kind of. Still. Anyway, we won that game because they F6 and I upgraded that Laboratory Maniac. So that's what happened there. Then they play a Serum Visage again, Azorius Rider. Yeah, Neoform, I spell pieces. They have the Pact of Negation again, and just nothing I did mattered this game. Like, if they hadn't F6 the last game, they would have won anyway. Yeah, so can we please just get rid of Neoform already? Like, the matches are boring and dumb, and I think Neoform is a very big net negative on the form, and I don't think it should be legal at all. Anyway, to this match, we play a bunch of lands, then I play an Ice Fang Codal. Ice Fang Codal flies in, caca! Then I end up Thought Scouring, and they Cryptic Command to counter and bounce my land. So they're very aggressively trying to bounce my lands, because I have a tap land in the Ketria Triome. Yeah, I opt, they countered that one as well, and they return the land again. Like, yeah, sure, you know, like, you can. This is very aggressive. I would have done the draw and return target permanent. Like, nobody cares about an opt. And this whole match is just about getting a head-on card advantage. It doesn't really matter if, if like an opt gets countered. You just don't really care unless it's very critical. So yeah, now they're returning target permanent to its owner's hand, drawing a card. This is what I would have done with the last Cryptic as well. I remand it, they Mana Leak it. So yeah, my remand gets countered. But yeah, they have no pressure. So we end up a few turns later, and I've just replayed all the lands again. Like, yeah, it just didn't really matter. There was just not enough pressure for that. Yeah, Uro goes to the graveyard, Deceiver Exarch for us, they tapped out, and so we kill them. Like, they did a bunch of stuff, resolved the Jace, resolved an Uro, and yeah, we killed them. Because, well, we're playing Splinter Twin, and they didn't know that. So that was all that was about. Like, I needed them to tap out, and that was that. Ice Fang Codal coming into play, drawing a card, Uro doing some more triggers. They Field of Ruin us in response to the Uro, which is great, because now I have 2 mana. And yeah, there's a Spell Pierce. And a Mana Leak. Like, there's a counter while forming around the Uro. The Fairy Time Reveler comes into play. Another very fun card. I end up Spell Piercing it. But they have the Spell Pierce of their own. So in response, I opt, so I can at least draw a card before the Fairy hits the battlefield. Yeah, so Teferi. Yeah, I play an Ashiok here. And for those of you who don't know, Ashiok is my win condition here. Like, I don't think I'll ever combo here. Ashiok is the reason I'm going for this. And then they play a Joria, Moon Volley, Recluse, and I really want to play that card. It's so cool. It's like a young Pyromancer that when you draw your second card, you get a 2/2 token. That's so cool. Like, I want to play a ton of that card, and it's very likely that in my next video I'll be playing it. I do need to build a deck around it, though. I don't think my opponent's playing the best shell for it. So yeah, they play an Archmage's Charm, and then they get a token. Yeah, the cat token comes in, and all I'm doing here is just making sure the Ashiok survives. All I'm trying to do is just mill them out. Like, I'm not gonna win this on damage. Like, my clocks are 1/1 and a 1/1, and they have a bunch of Path to Exiles and stuff. That's not happening. However, they might think that I'm just milling because of Uro and Mystic Sanctuary, but that's not it. I'm actively trying to make sure that they don't have a deck anymore. So I end up escaping an Uro of my own, and it get exiled, and they just keep getting tokens. I just keep trading with them. Like, get rid of the tokens, keep Ashiok alive is all I'm trying to do here. Yeah, so I play a Pulse of Murasa, get a Snapcaster Mage back. Like, we're not gonna die on life totals or anything. They play a Mana Leak. I end up doing the impossible and paying 3. So yeah, more Ashiok triggers. Just milling them out here. They play I play a Veil of Summer here. They Cryptic it, which is very aggressive. Like, they have been super aggressive with that Cryptics command, which on the one hand I think is absolutely fantastic, and you should do. Like, a lot of people are definitely not aggressive enough with that Cryptics commands. But this might be a bit much. Like, if you're trading them for Opt and like a random cantrip with Veil of Summer, that's not a thing you should be doing. I end up Aether Gusting the Jolreal, and they Cryptic command that, and I mill them again. And at this point, they have 10 cards in that deck and 5 in hand, and it's like, yeah, you just don't have enough pressure. They can't ever kill me anymore. They just don't have enough pressure to do it. So I win the match, and on to the 4th one. Yeah, I had another match against Eldrazi Tron, but the footage was not good. Like, I couldn't make an edit out of it. So, but I lost that match as well. It wasn't very interesting. I got challenged twice. It was very boring. So anyway, they play a Stoneforge Mystic. I play an Ice Rain Codal. I play then Lightning Bolt the Stoneforge Mystic. They play a Jace a few turns later. I remand the Jace. Yeah, so Jace goes away. Jace retries. But yeah, Jace just gets Snapcaster Maged. Bye bye Jace. Retry again. Yeah, so Icewind Codal and Snapcaster Mage going. Like, this is my clock. Like, this is enough. A lot of people will be inclined to like tap out for the Uro and stuff. Don't. You just have enough pressure. Forcing them to do something is the way to win. So I play Cryptic Command on the Jace, they Mana Leak it, which is fine. I just want to make sure that I don't get trapped in some sort of counter war that I can't win. And I already have an answer to the Jace, so them just wasting a very efficient counter spell is a good thing for me. So bolt the Jace, attack Jace with Snapcaster, Icewind Codal goes in. And then I play the Uro, because now I can do it without harming myself. They end up playing a Battle Skull that they found with the Stoneforge Mystic a few turns ago. And then I replay my Uro from the graveyard. I escape. Yeah, it's called escape. Yeah, yes. And they immediately Path to Exile. That's a recurring theme. They always just Path to Exile the Uro. Then they play a Stoneforge Mystic. They find the Sword of Feast and Famine. They equip the Sword of Feast and Famine to the Battle Skull. But I play a Deceiver Exarch to make sure that it can't attack. Because I don't want to be discarding cards. At this point, all my cards are very, very reasonable. And now they're tapped out, so I just want to find a Kiki-Combo. But yeah, no, I just whiff. It happens, I just whiff. So I end up just putting a bunch of creatures in play, which is also very fine. This is just good stuff. So yeah, they block with the Stoneforge Mystic, trade for the Snapcaster. I take the Battle Skull damage because I can't block it. It's pro green because of the sword. So now I have to discard a card. They get all the mana, and this is really scary. Like, they tap for 8 mana and they end up cycling a Shark Typhoon for extra 6, which is really scary because it's in that damage phase. Like, oh man. So they get to untap again, and now they have a big flying shark, which is very cool actually. I think it's really cool how M21 has affected Modern. I like the effect of M21 on Modern a lot. So yeah, I just keep cantripping, just trying to find Kiki-Jiki. They have one card in hand, so I'm just trying to go for it. I actually find it and end up going for it the next turn. So I play the Kiki-Jiki. Yeah, they're very doubtful about what's going to happen here. I end up targeting the Deceiver Exarch, obviously. And they part to exile it. I think they should have targeted the Kiki-Jiki here, because now I get to just use my Kiki-Jiki again every turn. And what they didn't notice is that I milled a Scred with the Thought Scour. So I can now Snapcast a Mage. And in response to them equipping the Battle Skull to the Shark token, Scred it in response and then kill it. So that's an 8/8 Shark token with protection from black and green that just got Scredded out of nowhere, which is not a thing they expected probably. So I end up just, making a ton of Snapcaster Mage tokens. This game is so sweet. I had so much fun with this game. I just kept making more Snapcasters and more Snapcasters. Yeah, just making value, making plays, just getting everything I ever wanted. So Scred again, now the Battle Skull's gone, the token is going to block the Snapcaster Mage. A counter war happens, like both of the mana leaks are mine. It's just, the mana leaks, they had 6 or 5 mana open, so I needed to double mana leak. And in response to this, so they win the counter war, because they have a spell snare as well, but I just end up bolting their Battle Skull. And at that point, I just have enough pressure to be able to keep going through. Like now they have to return the Battle Skull, replay it again, tap out again. And this just costs them so much time, which they just do not have. So I Snapcaster Mage again, because, well, what's better than doing Snapcaster Mage once a turn? It's doing it once a turn, every turn. So I copy a bolt. I just want to kill them at this point, so I put them to 1. And just to make sure like nothing can go wrong. But at this point, look at the timer. I have 10 minutes left. This is game 1. So this has been quite the slog. This was a 30-minute game. Like most of the matches I play are shorter than this one game. But this was one of the best games I have played in a long time. So I bought out a ton of spot removal, because I figured it only targets the Stoneforge Mystics. And so we get caught with our hand in the cookie jar, because they play a Stoneforge Mystic, they play a Battle Skull. And now I'm screwed. And they play a Teferi. I'm just like, nope, this game ain't happening. This is not a thing. I'm winning. So bye-bye game 2, bye-bye. So I bought back in the lightning bolts and stuff. I don't have the time to be like Ashiok milling them. It's not a thing. But it ends up very disappointing. So I mulligan again. Just 2 mulligans, and this hand's also very mediocre. This is a very mediocre mulligan to 5. I end up playing an Ice Fang Kotal on turn 2. They mana leak it. So mana leak resolves. I play a snap. Oh, they play. They play a Snapcaster Mage. I remand it. Like I just need the cards. I need them to not have pressure. They retry their Snapcaster Mage the turn after. I find a mana leak. I end up upgrading the Snapcaster, but this is all I'm just struggling here. Like I'm drawing a ton of lands, no card draw. I'm really not getting any gas here. Just this is just the deck kind of being like blah 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 blah. That's it. So just upgrade the Stoneforge Mystic again. All I'm trying to do is just buy time. I need more time. I need time to convert my cards into more cards while using their cards, and I only have 6 minutes on the clock, so I try to play an Ice Fang Kotal. They Cryptic Command it. I Mystical Dispute back, but I mean, look at this board. I have a 2/1, and then they Force of Negation back, so I have to mana leak as well, because I need my Ice Fang Kotal to resolve, and then they just part to exile it anyway. After putting that Battle Skull into play, so block the 1/2, and now it's just like they have a Battle Skull on 1 card, and I'm just not doing anything, so I end up dying. So after playing those matches, I came to this list. I added some Force of Negations. Oh, come on. I added some Force of Negations, just for stuff like Neoform. I think as long as Neoform is in the format, you need to be playing at least something that interacts with it. Because in the last few leagues, I've been paired against Neoform at least once every league. So that. For the rest, I've added some Mystic Sanctuaries. The deck can easily support them, so let's play them. For the rest, what else did I take? I put in some Archmage's Charms, and for the rest, the main deck actually felt really solid. I took off one Remand to make some room here. I added the 23rd land. I felt like the deck felt very land-light, so I added a land. And for the sideboard, it's mostly the same. I didn't change it that much. I like the sideboard a lot, so I added one Force of Negation. And what else? I added 2 Damping Spheres for like Tron and stuff. Eldrazi Tron is a very popular deck. And I took out the Spell Pierce, and I just saw that I forgot to add a 15th card. Yeah, that could be anything. It's like a meta call. You can put back in the Spell Pierce, you can use the Force of Negation, you can put the 3rd Damping Sphere, you can use the 4th Ashiok, 3rd Anger of the Gods. You can even put like a 4th Snapcaster Mage if you want to be grindy. Just go with whatever you need for your metagame. It's not that big of a deal. Like, just think about it, Google some lists, and you'll figure it out. With that being said, if you enjoy the content, please let me know. Like, comment, subscribe as usual, and thank you for watching.